What's up, guys? Tugi here, back again. This is episode 2 of my Boston Bruins franchise mode on NHL 17. And in this episode, we get going. We get started here with the first season. Now, at the end of the last episode, I asked you guys, what do we do with the trading block? It's going to be our main way of moving people off of this team. And there were 3 obvious choices, and that's who we went with: Adam McQuaid, Jimmy Hayes, and Kevin Miller. Now, I was tempted because, believe it or not, I wouldn't actually mind having Kevin Miller on our third pairing for a decent amount of time throughout the series, but it was the obvious choice. Ryan Spooner is another guy who could have found his way onto this list and still could in the future. It's no secret, in real life, the Bruins are looking at potentially moving him to try and get a better second line forward, and maybe that'll happen. I do expect that Kevin Miller will get an offer for in a while because he does have at least a decent bit of trade value. But those are the 3 guys, and looking at our surplus here, which basically means who we'll get offers for, as far as our forward core, it will be anybody under an 85. So we won't be getting offers, or hopefully won't be getting offers for like Krejci, Bergeron, Pasternak, Backes, guys that we won't be trading. Defense, the only 2 guys that are exempt are Torrey Krug and Zdeno Chara. But, of course, if we get offers for certain defensive prospects, I doubt we'll make any moves. And goalies, it is anybody besides Rask and Hudobin. So if we get an offer for Malcolm Subban, we will certainly be looking at it. As far as what we want, it will be any forward above an 83 and any defenseman above an 84 overall. We're not looking at getting any goaltenders. We don't need them. We have Tuukka Rask. He will be here for a considerable amount of time. And like I said, I actually can't remember if I showed this off. Free agent-wise, there's nobody worth bringing in. A little bit under the weather, as they say. As far as prospects, we could bring in someone like Suomela or Tamela. We're not going to do it. We're good to go. We will let somebody else pick those 2 guys up. They are guaranteed to be signed. But as far as the roster and how we set this up moving forward, we do have, of course, a couple of issues if certain players aren't moved on their way out, mainly Colin Miller and Joe Morrow having to start down in Providence. I do want to see, though, if I can send Lozon and Zaboral back to junior, because I really don't want to have to use them in Providence. They are way too far down in terms of overall. Zach Senyshyn, or Senyshyn. I think it's Senyshyn. I'm going to mispronunciate that a lot as well. We'll see if we can send him down. And DeBrusk, I think he's 19, but I don't think we're allowed to send him back down. So Senyshyn, Lozon, and Zaboral. Can we send them all back to junior? And we can. That is perfect. Have fun back with your junior teams. And now we don't have to worry about playing them in the AHL. Jake DeBrusk, though, I don't think we are allowed to send back down. And indeed, we are not. So DeBrusk will be here. But for the meantime, this is pretty much... No, you know what? Let's take the time really quick. Most of this episode, if not all of this episode, is going to be live unless the injuries really start to add up. Defensively, we'll just take out our 2 main defensemen and call these guys up. Actually, no, fuck it. We'll just do it for the whole team. I don't want to risk injury. Normally, I wouldn't do this, and actually, we can't send Carlo down. So Carlo will have to play in the preseason here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll just send down Adam McQuaid. Oh, forwards, Bergeron, and yeah, see, this is why I normally do jump cuts. Makes things like this a little bit easier, but at least for the first few episodes of the season, or of this series, I want to take it a little bit more slow. Obviously, if you watch the Nord series, towards the end of those series, it just gets to, all right, let's just get through this shit so that we can get to the playoffs. I want to go a little bit more slowly, and we will just work our way through this. But now, we actually get to see if we can make any moves before the beginning of the season. That is the goal, is to hopefully get a trade offer before our first game of the year against the Columbus Blue Jackets. So let's move forward. Fingers crossed that we get a decent deal, budget allocation, promotion nights, all of that is already set up. Will we get an offer? Get an offer, hopefully from McQuaid or Kevin Miller, so that Colin Miller can find his way into the lineup. We have to take care of scouting really quick. We are going to focus on the CHL primarily, despite the scouting system still being pretty terrible. Now, we do get an offer here. Chimera and 2 fourth-round picks for Riley Nash in a third. I will decline that. I would rather have Riley Nash at the moment than Jason Chimera. We get Carlo and Bolesky. Fuck off, Ottawa. Even for 2 first-round picks. Just piss off. 2 first-round picks. And here we go. Oh, shit. I said I wanted to keep him. I don't think I can keep him. 2 third-round picks. Their next 2 third-round picks for Kevin Miller. God damn it. I said I wanted to keep him. But I have to take that. I do. Because despite having Patrick Laine, it's tough to read what Winnipeg will be in this sim. 2 third-round picks for Kevin Miller. I'm sorry. I have to take it. Kevin Miller is on his way out, unfortunately. And Colin Miller, fortunately, will be able to be on the main roster for this opening season. So 2 third-round picks. Not too bad, though. I'll take that, is what I am trying to say. So let's figure out this roster now that we've only had 1 trade go through. Obviously, the goaltending is figured out. And we will get the rest of this done as quickly as we can to actually get into a little bit of simming here. So Joe Morrow, unfortunately, will start down in Providence. Like I said, at least Colin Miller finds his way into the lineup. Let's see, Backus and Pasternak need to be on their way up. We'll call these 3 guys up as well. Just take Ferland down. We are going to have to scratch somebody or send somebody down in general. Actually, 2 different guys here. Oh, let's see. Schaller, Zarnik. Somebody's... I'm thinking Achari and Zarnik we will send down for now and get them first line time with the Providence Bruins. So let's get these lineups set. Maybe we'll get a last-second trade offer. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. But I wouldn't hold my breath. And actually, those lines are good. We'll start Spooner on the second line. If he starts to struggle, we can get Petrano up on the second line. And we should probably change him to a sniper or a power forward. Not sure why he is a 2-way forward. Defense, Krug and McQuaid, Lyles and Colin Miller. That is perfect. In the AHL, fuck it, we'll set these lineups as well. Let's see, who can we take Matt Bartkowski out for? Is the question, and Linus Arneson is the answer, although, actually, hold on. Let's take Arneson back out. We'll put Bartkowski there, and then we will bring in, easy for me to say, God damn it, this weather sucks, and I hate just being sick because it makes doing these videos so much more difficult. I hope my, I hope it comes through that I am excited to be doing this, because I am. It's tough to breathe. That's all it is. It's just tough to breathe. Now, can we scratch anybody for Mueller? Let's see, Schwarz, Solaric. We will bring in Colby Cave. We will take out Simpson for Solaric. And then I kind of want to get Hickman into the lineup. Jesus, this is just all over the place. Randall Heinen, Anton Plead. Zach Ronaldo, you can be scratched. Nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about you, and we will bring in Justin Hickman for him. Let's just get this set up as quickly as possible. doesn't really matter where these guys slot in right now. Perfect. Good enough for me. The defense is set. And obviously Malcolm Subban is the starter. Got to make sure the captaincies are set up the way they should be, and I knew that they wouldn't be with the preseason. That is normally why I don't switch players over for the preseason, is because now players are going to lose morale because we strip them of letters. So it's kind of the reason I don't do it this year, and it is pretty stupid to have whatever random players ended up getting assigned the captaincies to have them lose morale. But Matt Bartkowski will not be the captain. That would be one Tommy Cross. And then the alternates. I'm going to take it off of Randall. And give it to Joe Morrow. Austin Czarnik can keep his letter. So those are the captains. Of course, no major changes as far as NHL. That will stay the same. Like I said, Zdeno Chara, off limits, will start the year with the team. But if we are in trouble come trade deadline time, he will find himself on the trading block. So let's move forward. I don't know if we'll get any other offers before the start of the year. And as I say that, we do. Florida's first, Jaromir Jagr. For Spooner, Achari, and John Michael Lyles, I do not want Jaromir Jagr. Thank you very much, though. And now we move forward. The first game of the year against Columbus. We will see if we won that. It's funny that it says the draft will be weaker than normal. Is that because I edited your terrible roster, ZA? I think it is. Columbus, can we get the win? And we lose 5-4 in the opener. Play the Leafs on Saturday, and Vetrano gets injured for about a month. Give me a minute here. We'll edit. We'll make a jump cut as I have to edit these lineups. The lineup is set. Noel Achari is the one who gets called up. He'll be on the fourth line. We're bumping Jimmy Hayes up to the third line. I'm sure I will come to regret that. I mean, as long as he doesn't play as poorly in this sim as he has in real life, he actually shouldn't be that bad for us. We get an offer from Montreal, their first and a third for Ryan Spooner. I expect Montreal to do fairly well. I actually want to get Anton Khudobin here into the lineup to play the Winnipeg Jets. And that's the thing about potentially trading Ryan Spooner, is because he's still on his entry-level deal, or at least a very affordable deal with 1 year left, I do expect the majority of those offers to come from teams like Chicago and Montreal, cash-strapped teams that are looking to get a good player for cheap. We get an offer from Colorado, a first, a third, and Jerome McGinley for Spooner and Anders Bjork. Yeah, we're going to decline that as well. I'm not looking for aging veterans, as we lost to Winnipeg as well, a 1-2 record through our first 3 games. A little bit disappointing there. How did Khudobin do? A 760 save percentage. That's just lovely. I can't wait to see what the scoreline was in this first game. This should be great. Let's go ahead. What was it? 6-0, 7-0 probably. 6-3. Okay, that's just great. Rask gets the next 2 games against New Jersey and Montreal, and we will see if we can get a win. The Rangers, another one of those decent teams offering for Ryan Spooner. I imagine this is going to happen a lot with the way we have the trade block set up, but eventually we'll get a decent offer. The Oilers offer a 2nd and a 6th for one of our prospects, Jesse Gabrielle. Now, based on his potential, I wouldn't declare this as a realistic trade. I mean, obviously the game just has Gabrielle's value a bit too high, so I am going to decline that. It would obviously be very easy to take that and to get a 2nd-round pick, but we will decline that. Ottawa looking for Ryan Spooner. We are not trading him within the division. I want a player for Ryan Spooner, not picks. Edmonton looking for Trent Frederick. Yeah, we're absolutely in the next episode going to get back to my normal way of just having these sim periods as opposed to just doing all of this live because of the way we have the block set up. Trent Frederick is not going anywhere. Anders Bjork for a 2nd and a 3rd. Again, it would be very easy to take that. But do I think the Devils would offer a second and third round pick for Anders Bjork? I don't. But anyway, we lost to the Devils. We beat Montreal, so at least we are undefeated against some main rivals there. If we could only win 2 games, I would prefer those to be the 2 games that we actually won. Anton Khudobin gets another chance against the Minnesota Wild. He can't do much worse than what he did against the Winnipeg Jets. We'll see. Hopefully our record moves up to 3-3, and we're not trading Ryan Spooner for picks, goddammit. And we lost in overtime to the Wild. So Khudobin let me down a little bit. And obviously it's not extremely true to life. We haven't had to call up Subban or Zane McIntyre yet, but so far Tuukka Rask, the only goaltender to get us a win early on in the season. 2-3-1. I mean, we're only 6 games in. I'm hoping for a winning record at the end of the month here, which will be after these next 2 games. So we will see what happens here. Game against the Rangers. Can we get a win, please? Pretty please. And we lost 4-2. Lovely. Holy shit. All right. I mean, I'm not going to do this. A first-round pick and Adam McQuaid for Zetterberg, 2 fourths, and a 5th. That is absolutely ridiculous. We will pass. I would love to get rid of Adam McQuaid so we could get Joe Morrow into the lineup, but that is ridiculous. Chicago offers for Ryan Spooner. I should probably take... That's the thing. I don't mind draft picks being involved. I wish people would send offers that weren't centered around draft picks, and this is a potentially interesting trade. Brian Gianna, a 4th-round pick next year, and a 5th-round pick this year for Adam McQuaid and prospect Justin Hickman. An interesting one, because we'd get rid of Adam McQuaid, and we could get Joe Morrow into the lineup. Justin Hickman, I think the former Seattle Thunderbirds captain, likelihood of making the NHL probably pretty low. He's currently the 4th-line center down in Providence, still on an entry-level deal. And, of course, Adam McQuaid so far this season hasn't been great, has 3 years left on his deal. So basically, do we want to take on the hit of Brian Gianna for 1 year to get rid of Adam McQuaid? So really, I mean, do I think Buffalo would do this? Probably. I mean, it gets them a little bit of cap relief, gets them a defenseman, a decent depth defenseman. Actually, let's take a look at Buffalo's defense really quick, because I do want to take my time with this. Like, offhand, I'd be like, yeah, fuck it, I'll take this. But let's see, who do they have on defense? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he would be a better depth defenseman than Justin Falk, and would actually square into their lineup right now because of the injury to Jake McCabe, and Rasmus Ristolainen is a little bit bumped up. So from a realism perspective, I do think they would take this trade. So Adam McQuaid and Justin Hickman for Brian Gianna, a 4th next year and a 5th this year. I wouldn't mind keeping Justin Hickman, but I really don't think he'd make the NHL lineup. How badly do we want Joe Morrow on the main team is the question. And I think we do. I don't like trading within the division, but we are going to take this deal. Adam McQuaid and Justin Hickman for Brian Gianna and picks. Adam McQuaid is off to Buffalo, and now the 2 defensemen and 2 out of 3 players that we put on the trading block are gone, and that has Colin Miller and Joe Morrow now on the main roster. Of course, I expected Joe Morrow. Never mind. I expected Joe Morrow to drop down to an 82, or down to an 81, but he didn't, and he now gets into our lineup. So Jimmy Hayes is the lone player left. And I don't think still moving forward that we don't necessarily need to put Ryan Spooner on the block immediately. Like, if we're struggling, the trading block will probably be reworked to Spooner and Zdeno Chara and maybe somebody else, maybe even Brian Gianna at that point. But for now, Gianna is with Riley Nash and Matt Bolesky. I want to get Carlo back over there. And actually, someone has to be on their offhand. So let's go with Colin Miller, and we will have Lyles and Morrow together. Down in the AHL, we need to set up these lines very quickly. Like I said, fuck it. We will do it live, as they say. Let's get Peter Mueller in here. We could potentially sign a prospect if we wanted to. Let's get Solaric here. Can any of you guys take face-off? Solaric will be the center, because why not? And then defensively, we need to get somebody else in here. Not sure who it's going to be. We could potentially sign Charlie McAvoy if we really wanted to. Chris Casto is one of our prospects. Let's bring him in, and he can play with Linus Arneson. Looks good to me, and that gets Rob O'Gara some first-line time down in Providence. So as we have basically hit the end of this episode, because we have hit the end of the first month, have made some moves. Surprisingly, we have actually made some moves, and it's going to be intriguing to see, and we have a chance to make another one here, actually. Ron Hainsey. Not the worst defenseman, but seeing as we just got Joe Morrow into the lineup, we will decline that. Funny that Carolina wanted Riley Nash back. And let's see, Jason Chimero, we will also decline that. Riley Nash, a hot commodity, apparently. But at the end of the first month, at the end of the opening month, we have a 2-5-1 record. Not ideal in the slightest. But quickly, let's take a look and see if there were any other trades. And no, there weren't. Just ours. So, of course, Kevin Miller out for 2 third-round picks. Adam McQuaid and Justin Hickman to Buffalo for Brian Gianna and 2 picks. Were there any free agent signings? Yes, there was. Okay, so Tamela went to L.A. Looks like all prospects. Anthony Richard to New York. Dylan Fournier to Ottawa. Swomela to Vancouver. And that is it. So none of the decent veteran signings out there have happened. Potential signings have happened. Just a couple of prospects. So quiet for the most part on the AI's side of things. But overall, I guess I would say mission accomplished. 2 out of 3 guys on our trading block have been moved early on in the season. The hope now is that we can turn it around and start to get some wins. But it is early enough that it shouldn't be too big of an issue, as we'll just quickly breeze through the point totals thus far, which surprisingly are better than I thought they would be, considering our record early on this year. Although I do wonder now if the defense is looking a little bit rocky. And no, Chara and Carlo are actually a great pairing. It's the bottom 4. It's the second and third pairing right now that are really struggling. And Tuukka Rask is not playing that well, not being able to bail us out like he does for the Bruins in real life. Guys, that is it. You have made it through. Congratulations. That was the second episode of this series. And let me know, as we move on to episode 3, what we should do moving forward. Should we put anybody else on the trading block aside from Jimmy Hayes that we should look to move? Should we actually put Ryan Spooner on the block, or just let things go, see if we get certain offers, and just, make our way towards the All-Star break and the trade deadline, and, maybe make our bigger moves once we get to that point. But again, thank you for making it through this episode, because it's a miracle that I made it through this episode feeling as terrible as I do. But I'm excited for this series, and that helped me get through this. But once again, guys, thank you for watching. As always, if you did enjoy the video, of course, make sure to hit that like button to help support my channel. Subscribe if you haven't already to continue following this series and others. And I will see you guys in the next episode, where we see if Leon Draisaitl will still be the NHL's leading scorer as we progress through this season.